So, in this first podcast, I have Steve Smith with me. Steve Smith is an Australian cricketer and is number one in Test ranking. So, we are gonna have a cricketing and a fun conversation with him. So, watch out the total podcast till the end. And let us start now with this fake podcast. So, here's my very first question to you, Steve. Do you like Virat Kohli's beard?
Awful, isn't it awful?
So, you got hit on a ball side. Oh, sorry, L guard. So, is it any better now?
It's red.
So, how was your quarantine in Australia? What you have been doing in that period?
Not too strict here at the moment. I think it'll get worse, but like I've been able to go out and um, run around the park and play a bit of tennis actually. So yeah, that's about it. But other than that, you're pretty much stuck inside. So it's getting a bit boring, but could be worse, I guess.
So, this will be a genuine question from my side. And the question is, how have you managed your fitness in this quarantine period? Like, how have you managed it and have been fit in this period? Let me have your viewpoint on it.
Yeah, it's been okay. Getting a little bit bored at times, but being able to get out and do a bit of running and things like that. So I got a bit of a home gym downstairs, which is getting a fair workout at the moment, and obviously Netflix and chill. Pretty standard stuff. I think it's pretty. I guess what's happening around the world at the moment with a lot of people. So in the same boat.
Oh, Netflix and chill. Nice fitness regime. Why are you smiling so much today? What's the reason behind it?
Yeah, it's very different. It's different. It's certainly nothing like I've ever experienced before, and I'm sure what many people around the world have never experienced before, and probably hopefully don't experience again. But it is certainly very different out there at the moment.
So you started out as a leg spinner in the Australian cricket team, but later on you switched it actually to being a leg spinner. So how does this change actually occur? Let the audience also know this from the mouth of the original person himself.
So at times before that, I was probably mix and matching between batting and bowling and working on both in a session, and then sort of got to the point where I just worked. Say a session went for 3 hours or whatever in the nets, I'd be doing probably 2.5 hours of batting and half an hour of bowling as opposed to half and half. So just getting more volume, and obviously just finding a method that worked for me as well. That can take time, and I was still at that stage playing in the middle order for New South Wales and trying to find my way there and find ways to score runs in the longer form of the game and a method that worked for me. And that can take a bit of time and to have the confidence to keep doing it. That can take a bit of time as well. And got to that point where I was comfortable and then got myself back in the team through, scoring big runs for New South Wales and sort of never looked back from there. But yeah, I think for me, it was just finding how I wanted to bat and being comfortable with that. And obviously now the way I move across the crease, I'm a little bit different to some people, but I found a method that kind of works for me.
Tell us the reason behind your unorthodox batting. Why are you opening your legs so wide?
It depends who's bowling, how the wicket's playing, how I want to score, and stuff like that, or how I feel people are trying to get me out. Probably determines how open I am um, and and how otherwise how closed I am, I suppose. So yeah, it sort of varies. The fields that are set, where you're looking to score, everything sort of comes into play. But I think just my general sort of prelim with my back foot going almost pretty much to off stump, maybe even outside at stages. I know that sort of anything outside of my eye line isn't hitting the stumps, and for me, that's just you know, you shouldn't get out if the ball's not hitting the stumps. So that was just a tick for me when I first started doing it, and just limiting the ways that I get out. And sometimes I get trapped in front and can sort of say, well done. I'm okay with that at stages, and knowing that if it's outside my line, I don't need to to I guess try and play at the ball. I can just leave it.
So this one will be a hard question for you now, Smith. Who would you have married to if Dani Willis wasn't your wife today?
I don't know. Angelina Jolie.
You have played so much of cricket in India, but by any chance do you ever know that who does Sanjay Manjrekar hates the most?
Jadeja. I think for some time.
So all the talkings and laughings has been done. It's now the time to take goodbye from Steve Smith and from the audience. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you want other parts of this fake podcast too with some other guests.
Cheers, Ish. See you soon, mate.
So goodbye now. I'll meet you in the next podcast very soon. Subscribe to the channel now.